gonna be my last live for a while. I gotta tell you now. I'm not really enjoying this probably as much as I should, you know. So yeah, this is definitely gonna be it's definitely gonna be my last live for a minute. All right, so I'm gonna finish up with what I'm talking about, and then so yeah, I'm just gonna finish up what I'm talking about. Then I'm gonna get off because I don't know what's happening. I'm not doing anything different. Everything should be working just fine, but it's So anyway, yeah. Anyway, um, yeah. Peace and Anwar. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm just gonna read it out when y'all get it. When y'all get it. I know everybody's still in the other live because that's what YouTube is doing to me tonight. Doing to us tonight. It's cool though. All right. No problem. No problem. With or without YouTube, we still gonna do what we need to do, right? Um. So let's get right into it, y'all. I love them that love me, and those that seek me in the dark place shall find me. Riches and honor are with me. Yes, durable riches and righteousness. So, of course, obviously, when we talk about, because we just had some talks about the idea of silver versus the idea of rubies versus the idea of gold. So we already know just with that, based upon that, that when we talk about riches and honor is with me, we're not talking about the same sort of riches that would allow one to traverse through the world just with money. We're talking about possessions that make one wealthy, right? So the things that can be possessed are not necessarily the things that are tangible based on what's being said here. I'm going to go quickly because the more I keep giving this prophecy and the more I keep giving you instructions on how to get out of this mess, the more I keep getting cut off. So if I start talking about going into the dark space and wisdom will find you and wisdom will love you if you love wisdom, and it's about loving wisdom, which is the application of knowledge, and you can't get understanding until you do that, and you have to have a love for it, and you have to seek it early. You have to seek it in a dark place where no one is looking and where no one is really sending you, at least where the masters are not sending you. Every time I talk about that, we're gonna get cut off. All right, so I'm just gonna go right through it. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. The Eternal One possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as of yet, he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree, then the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth. Then I was by him. I was one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. Why was she daily his delight? Because your consort, your woman, is the delight of your life, as she ought be. If she's not, then she's not your consort. She's not your woman. She's not your wife. Then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth. And my delights were with the sons of men. We already know my delights were with the sons of blood, or the sons of movement, because the sons of movement, those who are about life and movement and the wisdom of movement, are the ones that are loved by wisdom, and they love wisdom. Now, therefore, hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways, the ways of wisdom. Hear instruction or ruling, and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and he shall obtain favor of the eternal one. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul, and they that hate me love death. Okay, so what you have right there, you have an understanding of that. Right now, it's not about, I mean, you can politicize your way out of stuff as much as you want, or you can self-aggrandize your way out of stuff as much as you want. But what we're talking about now, which saves you and what establishes this new order of wisdom, because when wisdom says, I was there in the beginning, it's that same Orunmila energy, or that Ileri Ipen, which we call witness to creation. So wisdom is saying that I am the witness to creation. I was there. I was the delight of the eternal one. I was the consort to the eternal one. You see? So just in that aspect right there, just in that idea, you think about some of the things that you're going through right now as a result of you not applying the wisdom, of you not seeking that dark place early. You waiting for me to tell you. I've told you that before, especially when I was giving some of the segments on emergency preparedness. For some of you men, if you're waiting for me to tell you to store up food and to store up things, and to go and to embrace the old ways and to get out of Babylon, if you're waiting for me to tell you that for you to do it, then you clearly don't love your family. And like wisdom says, but he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. Why do you wrong your soul? What is sin? Sin means disobedience. So when you disobey against wisdom, now what is wisdom? Wisdom is the consort of the eternal, of the Most High. So now what is the consort of the Most High? The reflection of the Most High. Just like men, your wisdom or your woman should be your reflection. The Creator has a woman called wisdom. So for those of you who thought the Creator was this bachelor, this eternal bachelor, no. Wisdom has just told you, my man delights in me, and rejoices with me in the habitable places of his earth. The habitable places of his earth, he rejoices with me. Those places that he's chosen as the best to civilize. But he that sinneth against me, he that does wrong against me, he who disobeys wisdom, sinneth against his soul, or wrongeth against his own soul. Meaning that your soul is the Most High in you. Why would wisdom rejoice in you? Because she said, I find delight in the sons of men, or the sons of blood. What does that mean? Because the sons of blood are the genetic replicas of my husband. So I find delight in them. But if you sin against me, I am your mother. I am your mother, wisdom. If you sin against me, you're going against your own soul. You see, and all that hate me, if you disconnect yourself, if you hate, disconnect yourself from wisdom, or the domain where wise actions rule, then you love death. So you have to go into that dark place. A lot of people are looking for easy answers. They're still looking for magic. And wisdom is calling from the city and inviting you in and saying, come and rejoice with me, delight with me. But you're still looking for magic pills. You're still trying to distract people who actually are on the path and who actually are doing great things with foolishness. And you're wondering why they're not listening to you, because they don't rejoice in you. You're not in the habitable place of the Creator's earth. Where are you? You are in the hellish place. Where do we not habitate? The cold places. What are the cold places? Hell. You see, where you have triple stage darkness. You can't understand the truth. You can't see the truth. You can't hear the truth. You're frozen in your thought, ways, and actions. That is hell. So wisdom isn't there. Wisdom is not in hell, and some of you are stuck. You see, you still, and for some of you who are like, again, I've heard this before, man, you're reading out the Bible. So what? That's my ancestors' book that was written for me. Now, if you believe those people who gave it to you, and they never really gave it to you, but those people who introduced it to you in the most heinous of ways, if they're liars, then they're liars, and they've lost their credibility. So why would you believe it's their book when all signs point that it's your goddamn book? It's not a goddamn book, but you get what I'm saying. So just for those who are still on that, and most of the people who still preach that in my ears have never even been to Africa. Most of you Orisha addicts have never even been to Africa. Most of you Orisha addicts. Let alone, like yours truly, who have land and houses and family over there. So you can miss me with all that, all right? For those, before you even comment on it. Because there's some comments that I deleted on the last patriarchy video. Nobody's interested in that at this point. The time is past for that. We're devouring this snake, this genetic snake at the head, and you still playing around and you arguing from the tail and want us to come down there and argue with you on the tail while you being lopped all around the dirt. Nobody wants to go back down there in the dust on the tail of the snake. We're at the head steering it. And you may not realize that what you trying to stand on, we've already passed through, So in order to get out of the situation that you're in, you notice that there's a celebration of union there. I was with him in the beginning. I celebrated with him in the beginning. I was his delight. Wisdom was his delight in the beginning. Why was wisdom his delight? Because man loves to see the reflection of his knowledge. Why does man love to see the reflection? Because man has the genetic material of the Most High. The Most High looks at its creation and looks for delight in its creation. Now, what is the delight in? When its creation is the wisdom, that means it's the reflection of what the Most High is. You see, so what I was saying before we were cut before, when it said that I will find you, it was saying that I will squeeze you. When you find wisdom in a dark place, it doesn't mean that, oh, you found wisdom and it's this beautiful experience, like, oh, I'm so smart now. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that when it finds you, it squeezes you in on both sides. That is the discovery of wisdom. And I know a lot of you are going through this right now, man. A lot of you brothers are going through, a lot of you sisters are going through, you're going through some really tough times, and you're not realizing that right now wisdom is squeezing you. You've gone into the dark place. You started studying our new information, and you've been listening to the videos. You've been watching the command of days. You've been applying the information, and you're starting to know that you're noticing people are distancing from you because you're getting closer to that door or that open mouth or that bowl of wisdom where you're supposed to eat out of. Now, once you eat out of that bowl and you discover that wisdom, it squeezes you. It squeezes. By definition, with that word, when it talks about you find wisdom, it says that it squeezes your intestines. Now you think about that. That doesn't sound very delightful if you think about it. The act of finding wisdom is having your intestines squeezed on each side. Now, what does that represent symbolically? I mean, some of you could probably kind of figure it out, especially those of you who've ever eaten chitlins before. What are inside of intestines, right? What is it when you're cleaning chitlins out, or what are you taking out of it? You see, so when you find wisdom, you squeeze the ish out of your body. Now, what's going to happen once you squeeze the ish out of your body? You're going to stink. You're going to look at yourself and not be happy with what you see in the mirror. Damn, this is who I've been all this time. This is who I've been all these years. I know I was designed this way, and I was chanting this thing inside of myself and this affirmation and that affirmation. But when I squeezed myself and the real me came out, when I found wisdom, this is what comes out. This hard, black, crusty stuff, right? And I'm saying hard, black, crusty because that means it was old. It's been sitting in there for a long time, you see? So I may stink on the outside, but I've been stinking on the inside all this time because I didn't go into Shahor. I didn't go into the dark, or what we call Odu, where you get the word Dudu. Dudu means dark. It means black in our Yoruba. You see? There's a connection to everything. In case any of you were ever wondering where the word doodoo came, I know it's been something that's been on a lot of people's minds, and no one has ever gotten it right on Jeopardy. But if you ever find yourself on Jeopardy and you ask, where did the word doodoo come from, you can tell them now. So that Yoruba, form doodoo or black. That's why when you see doodoo osun, black soap. Osun means soap. Doodoo osun. So the idea there again is that when you find wisdom, it's a rough ride that you can really go because it's an experience. It's not like understanding. When you find, or when you have understanding, it's a straight walk to things. Wisdom is a windy path. You see, so that's when it says, "Oh, give thanks, Ricochet. I appreciate it, man. Give thanks." So, like, yeah, now you get yourself a goddamn iPhone. But no, the idea there again is, I have to go through this windy path. I got to go through this pain in order to get to that straight path. And some of us want the shortcut of the straight path. And it's hard for us to recognize that you don't get that. It's not a microwave, just add water kind of experience. And you can't live off of someone else's walk. Sometimes that's a tough thing for us to come to the understanding of. You may see me do something or see another person do something, and you say, man, if I get close to them, if I buddy up next to them, then I can ride the wave of all the work that they're putting in. You find that sometimes at work. You find that sometimes at school. You'll be in a class where people never show up. But when final come or a test come, they're asking you all the questions. And you want to just say, like, yeah, I'm not going to start you over from the beginning. You ain't came since the first day of class. Or, you just don't do your work, whatever it is, right? So the work is the windy, uncomfortable road. You see, but when you get to the gates of the city, the thing is, you got to understand about wisdom is that she's already calling for you. She's trying to choose you. You go back to the beginning. What did I say? She's calling from the highest place. She's walking through the cities, then going to the door of the city, the open mouth. Hey, come on. Calling to the sons of men or calling to the sons of blood. She's trying to bring you into that reality. It's not something when we say, I have to figure it out. I got to know. It's already been made extremely easy for you. What you have to do is fall in front of the foot of the Eternal One. Now, that's the hardest thing for a lot of you to do, especially when you spent so many years practicing traditions that tell you you are all and everything. You see? So now when someone turns around and says, you all and everything, but look at everything that's happening around you. Do you have an answer? Aside from some weak conspiracy theory that at the end of the day, no one can do anything about anyway? Do you actually have something effective that I can do? Well, yeah, you could be sheltered in the city of wisdom, which is stronger than ruby, stronger than gold, stronger than silver. I'm a person who collects precious metals. I'd rather have wisdom. You see? Now, does that also mean that having a woman that I can delight in, who witnesses my building and my creation from the very beginning, is also a part of my makeup and my construct? Yes, it is. That was wisdom's reminder at the end. I was there from the beginning. So if you're there from the beginning, then you also know that there really is no end, right? There are many resets. So I wanted to just give that word of 6 times encouragement. We'll call it 6 times because the live kept breaking. But for those of you who are kind of in a place where it's like, why me? Like, why am I going through this? And what do I do next? Choose wisdom. How do I choose wisdom? You remember what I told you? Even if you are fool, the authority of your heart. What I'm saying to you right now, A fool who has no longer any connection to their heart will disagree. It's not a matter of opinion at this point. Debating opinions is what's gotten us to a point where we don't know where to move next. I'm talking about deliberating the truth. It's a much different experience. I'm not talking about it. I don't care about opinion. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about my opinion. I could care less. Ever. When we're in a relaxed state, we can talk about opinions. When we finally get to a place where we can relax and everything's safe, then we could talk about, what flavor you like, purple or you like orange. What flavor drink you like. But until then, there has to be a desire to see that straight and plain way of truth. And you notice a lot of that is just keeping it simple. It's a straight line. Keep it simple, right? We overcomplicate ourselves with, sometimes I'll do a segment like this and people will start throwing a bunch of metaphysical questions at me just because they know I can answer them. But just because I can answer them doesn't mean that you can answer them. You haven't gone through the windy road yet. You see, you haven't had that experience where you've been squeezed by wisdom and you've been like, I don't like what's in me. Some of you have things in you right now that you don't like. You got ways about you now that you wish that you could get rid of. And you don't know how to. You haven't been able to conquer those demons. And you can't imagine yourself as an old person with those same schisms inside of you and that same pain inside of you and that same hurt inside of you and that same regret inside of you and that same disappointment and that loss of joy for life. You can't picture yourself growing old that way. However, you don't know how to get out of it. You don't know how to pull yourself out of it. The most you could figure out to do is to blame it on somebody else. That's the most you could figure out how to do. If I can blame it on somebody else and get somebody else to take it for me, then maybe then if I move away from them, they'll carry it away from me like a cat would for a Wadjet. When a Wadjet is doing a cleansing spell and she has all that dirty water in the pot and she throws it on the cat and the cat runs out into the woods, so the cat takes the spirit with them. But we ain't cats. You see, the things that we're doing are sticking with us. And they're creating a reality inside of us that a lot of us don't have the strength to deal with. We don't have the strength to own. You see, you have to choose wisdom if you want to get up out of this. And wisdom is in that dark place. It's in Shahor. Okay? It's in Shahor. White is Lavan. A lot of us are already exploring and experiencing the beauty of Lavan. And we're doing that to move away from Shahor. But in order to get to the place where you can finally have the levity of a true spiritual life, you got to conquer your Leviathan. You got to go into that hell mouth and see what's inside of there. And notice the hell mouth of the Leviathan, when it opens up, it looks like the opening of an intestines. You see? Yeah, if you're a fool, the seat of your passion is in your liver, and the seat of your confidence is in your loins. Everything with you as a fool is about what feels good and what I'm brave enough to go do. But the seat of intelligence is in your heart because that's where your authority is. That's where your author is. That's where you're scripting out your role. And it's indifferent. It's not going to cry because you cry. That's the beauty of the heart. It sits in the center. 3 above, 3 below. It's right in the center. I ain't crying for you. I'm not rejoicing for you, nothing. I'm just going to give you the straight hardcore truth from this green emerald right here. You come to the Emerald City, you're going to get the truth. The heart is the Emerald City. You see? So you can get through this because you got some real instructions. And I know a lot of you are going through it. I know you are. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of regret. I know a lot of people are thinking about wasted time. Man, I spent 3 years in this relationship, 5 years in this one, 10 years in this one, 20 years doing nothing or doing the wrong thing. That was all your windy road of gaining wisdom. We are now at the place, this is the time, we're here now. This is it. All of us. We're at that place now where the doors of wisdom's city or the doors of the wise dominion are open. and calling to you. How do you know it's calling to you? How much did you have to pay for this live? How many of you have ever even heard me speak at such an elevated volume? You probably didn't even know I could speak this loud. Wisdom is calling for you, and it's ringing out loud. It's not making you jump through hoops. It's not making you get initiated. It's not making you get a reading. It's opening the door for those who have ears to hear so you can enjoy the habitable place of the earth. And because there's some people that are going to be pushed back across the hot sands again. And they're going to be sent back to the cold place again. They're going to be sent back to hell again. And if you continue to identify with them because you choose to be the fool, then you will go to the cold place with them. You will go to hell with them. You will be frozen right along with them. If that's what you want, that's cool. I'm not here to stop that. I'm only your brother. And if something has been given to me by the Creator, and I'm so thankful, why not give it to you? There's a time now where we're coming where things have to go back to what they were before, when things were right. Law and order. We're losing out because we despise law and order. We rejoice in the fact that we can break law, we can break order, and we can do wicked things because we go against the natural order, and not understanding that nature is asking for us to evolve it. We were put here for that. When we named nature, when we named the animals, when we named the sound, when you name something, you don't just give it a sound to be called by, you give it a descriptor. That's what a name is. A name determines what the boundaries and the activities of a particular thing is going to be. You go to Ghana, you have Ko. Ko means to go away. Bra means to come. Cobra. 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 Go, come. Go, come. When you name something, you define what it's going to do on the planet. That's the dominion that you have. But then you start to accept lesser meanings, lesser names, lesser ideas, and you offend nature. You do wrong against your soul. You do wrong against wisdom by doing that, by accepting what's lesser. Why? For popularity? Remember, wisdom holds over gold. Wisdom holds over silver. But once you have it, you're going to get those things anyway. So yeah, willfully, those things may have helped you that I read out loud. Those are not my words. I gave you translations, so I helped the understanding along maybe a little bit. I'll just say, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. Oh man. Hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. You know what I mean? There's so much to that, man, that if you could understand it, and I want you to understand when this talks about death, it's talking about chaos. When you translate death is mit, so it's memtav. And memtav is not necessarily death as you would see as chaos. It's actually symbolized by water. And what it represents is like, it's the mark of chaos. You see? It's the mark of disorder. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I just will that you all come in through the right door at the right time, because things are changing so rapidly. And family is the way, community is the way, and there's no getting around it, man. And I know so many, like I said, are addicts to systems and ideas that they feel that they can have supreme control over. But if you did not design the heavens and the earth, then you might need a little bit of work, or a little bit of help. And just being able to control something. Sometimes we dig into certain spiritual systems so we can know things before we supposed to know them. And we think just because we have access to something that it makes it right. Children have smartphones now, and they have access to all forms of images that they have no business seeing. They can see somebody get killed. They can see somebody get raped. They can see somebody put themselves inside of an animal. They can see all kind of crazy, insane things that they should not see yet. And sometimes we don't realize our lust for ritual and our lust for spells and our lust for shortcuts are just that. And we're exploding our chakra system wide open before it's supposed to be. Because we don't want to go down that rough road where we now, have to we don't want that reading that gives us work to do. We want that reading that's going to confirm everything we're guessing. And if we don't get the confirmation, we go to somebody else. We'll get 6, 7 readings back to back until somebody says, "Yeah, you're right." We don't want that reading that says, "You know what? You need to call your mother up and apologize." We don't want the reading that says, "You know what? Your ex was right. You are selfish." We don't want the reading that says, "I know you don't know anybody in Texas or Oklahoma, but that's where you need to move to and make some new friends. You need to learn how to make friends. Be nicer." We don't want that one. We don't want the windy road where it's going to squeeze the things out of us that we have no business having in us anyway. How are you going to be recognized by your blood when your blood is clogged up with all that junk? You see? That's why the fool has to feel its passion deep in its heart, because the fool's center is in its liver. You see? Clean that blood up. So that way when that ship comes and it peels back the sky, it can clearly see you. I brought up Laverne Cox earlier. There are certain people that have transfigured themselves to the point they may not be recognizable anymore. And you think about that. You go back to when you started as a young child and the thoughts that you had in your mind and the ambitions that you had, and the purity and the innocence that you had. And you may have gone through experiences where it tainted that to some degree, or maybe somebody molested that out of you, whether it was through injurious thoughts or it was through injurious activities. But nonetheless, it may have been molested from you. Now, based upon that, can you open up the calabash of wisdom and eat that fruit and open up that fountain of youth and go back to that space again? When your blood was clean, when your blood was pure, like when you were fresh in the garden. Because that's what the Creator is trying to reestablish within us. But the Creator will keep waiting. The Creator has no sense of time. Y'all don't want to do it? Okay, maybe they'll do it 100 years from now. But there's always going to be a purge, and things are going to crash for the next to come forth. Right now, things are crashing. A lot of things that you thought made sense don't make any sense. A lot of things that you thought you were doing right, you weren't doing right. And you're seeing the proof of that now. And all these different solutions that you're trying to choose and you're trying to pick are not going to work. Oh, we can vote our way into a better life. We can educate our way into spiritual freedom. We can ritualize our way. I'm going to go get initiated into spiritual. No. You were given the answers a long time ago, but you rebelled against it. So now, I'm telling you, I know. And I know it's a scary proposition because you got to go into the dark space. I know it is. I see it. I see the tears. I see the loneliness. I got to go in there by myself. My sister isn't coming. My brother isn't coming. My parents aren't coming. What about them? What about my children? Like I said in that patriarchy segment, you might have to start over. You might have to make new babies. You sisters might have to find somebody else to mother. You might have to find someone to mother you. You might be 50 years old, sisters, but you never got to understand what it was to be mothered. So you may have to learn how to mother yourself. And then when you learn how to mother yourself and you become that matron, that noble matron of wisdom, then the sons of men will find delight in you and they'll want to be mothered by you. And some will even want to be, they will want to cover you. They'll want to be your man. You know, everything is impossible to us until we actually follow the laws and follow the order. And you'll see, you'd be surprised what'll open up to you. If you would just try the right thing. Try that for a minute. See how that works. That's all I'm interested in at this point. I'm not interested in anything else. Who has time for anything else? Who has time to be playing these games with you? Do the right thing or go to hell. All right? So I'm going to get out of here. All right? This was way longer than it was supposed to be because we kept having all those crashes. You know, but I guess it was what it was supposed to be. So I'm not really sweating that. And I don't really do lives that often. So I'm going to count all of these as like different lives. So as far as I'm concerned, I just did like 2 months worth of lives. Okay, so don't ask me for nothing. You got your lives. All right, but you're more than welcome. Everybody said thank you, and Sovereignty said thank you, Chief. Years doing the wrong thing and regretting wasted time. Thanks for sharing wisdoms and instructions. Give thanks to the Creator, man, because I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for that flowing through me and for that purpose. So I'm thankful for knowing my purpose and for acting on it and being totally immersed in it, you know. And if I can spark something in some of you, awesome. You know, if not, that's cool too. You know what I mean? Maybe you just got, you know, something cool to do on a seventh day night. But I'll be sharing more going forward. I'm going to start a series where I'm going to be teaching more of the Anu way. This wasn't, I didn't even pull out of the Anu way for this one. But leading up to that March thing, because like I told you, this is the last, after this is just recruitment. Why? The door has been open long enough, you know, and it's a lot of work going, you know, when we have applicants come in and screening through all of them and everything and the whole process, it's a lot of work. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, Mama Arlene. You're so welcome. And when I mean by welcome, you're welcome into the city. You're so welcome. But it's a lot of work. So after this March, it's just going to be recruitment, you know, as far as people coming into this movement. And you're going to see a lot less of me doing videos and stuff like that. Because it's like when I stopped Chief Speak, you saw less of me because I said I want to put more of my focus into my actual members. And I'm going to put more focus into those people because those are the people who are the sons of blood. And I gotta look out for Ken. You know, I gotta look out for Ken. You're more than welcome, Ashanti, Bragg. You're more than welcome, and thank you. You know, thank you for all the beautiful music that you create. Y'all should go check out her channel, Ashanti Bragg. She's got some really cool music that she does. You know, yeah. And for everybody, I know we lost a lot of people because we had like almost 50 at one point. But all the crashes, so I'm trying to see. But yeah, just peace, everybody. I can't see everybody, but you know what I mean. Yeah, give thanks, man. You know, I'll be back in a little bit. You know what I mean. Giving birth isn't easy. No, to give birth, you gotta die, and to conceive as a man, you gotta die. That's the sacrifice you got to make. If you want to bring forth a child, all that semen retention, everybody brags about, yes, semen retention. You could be more powerful. Man, F being more powerful. How long you want to live? Make some babies. You know what I'm saying? Bust off. You know, I should have a gunshot sample right when I said that. Bust off. But, you know, but when you do that, man, you know, you die. There's a part of you as a man, you lose a lot of your life force, you know. So in order to create, you're gonna have to die a little bit, And then in order for that woman to produce, she's not a creator, but she's a producer. In order for her to produce, she's going to die a little bit too. You know what I mean? So, but that's not the chaotic death that this particular passage talks about. It's a graduating death. Remember, the process of being born is not your birthday. Chances are most of us are still being born. You know, the only thing that's instantaneous is the quickening or the rapturous experience of dying. So we're pretty much being born our entire lives, and then when we hit that term where we're getting ready to die, that's now when we've been born. And in death, now we're dying, and we may be dying for years, right? And then when we die, we be born again. And then we go through the process of being born all over again, you know. And whatever that looks like next time around, I don't know. Nobody knows. But anyway, I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. But thank you for riding with me through all of this, the technical glitches. And notice it's cool now. I didn't do anything different. You know what I mean? And the battery was charged. I know somebody probably think, "Oh, the battery was dead." No. You know, it's just sometimes when you do things different, you got to fight to get it out. Y'all have not heard me share that much scripture before, most likely, and in that form, or just make some music in the moment that went along with what we were talking about. So the process of doing that and just making something, you know, it was just too much. It's merch too much. All right, y'all. So everyone be well, be safe. I'm out of here. All right. Peace.